So I wanted to, because we were going to talk about a specific part of this treatment. And,
indeed. So
and I think
in the process of, I may interrupt you there, sorry, when making the diagnosis of sexual addiction or problematic hypersexuality, whatever the term is, then you want to make sure there aren't any other issues going on, either what are called comorbid, meaning other medical issues that might be involved. So, for example, there might be a medical issue, a thyroid problem, and so you want to rule that out. There's a number of things that go along with this addiction. It's very rare for someone to have an addiction without another issue going on, such as someone's very depressed.
Right.
Or they may have several addictions they're struggling with at the same time. It's very rare. And the more addictions there are, usually implies there's a lot of unfinished business from earlier in life, typically trauma. Trauma is a very common issue among most people who are sexually acting out. Emotional trauma, sexual trauma, physical trauma. That factor, of course, needs to be looked at as far as any treatment that's going to be successful.
Right.
And what we're talking about today is another issue that needs to be identified if it is present, and that is ADHD. And as I mentioned earlier, that stands for attention deficit disorder with or without hyperactivity.
Right.
Now, it's a disorder that we're well aware of, existed independent, of course, of sexual addiction. But in the more recent years and in my work, I've come to realize that a high percent of people with sexual acting out behavior also have untreated, usually ADHD. And that's an important factor in securing success in ongoing recovery. If you don't treat that disorder, it makes it very difficult. And if you have been diagnosed with ADHD, it's important to remember that if you have ADHD, you've had it all your life. There is no such thing as adult onset, or you may have compensated for it, but the symptoms usually go way back to even elementary school.
Okay, so someone will have this, they've had this their whole life. What are some of the things that they would resonate with them that would say, oh yeah, I see this in my life? Like, what are some of the symptomology?
Common things would be, particularly with boys, would be that they were always fidgety, hyperactive in their attention. As a result, they academically didn't do very well, even though everyone feels they are quite intelligent. And by the way, ADHD has nothing to do with intelligence. In fact, most of the people I've worked with are actually quite bright.
Right.
Or very bright. But ADHD makes it very difficult for someone to pay attention.
Right.
Unless, and here's the key, unless they're interested. So we call it interested-based performance.